Hello, everyone. This is Tom, and welcome to the Lone Wolf Prepper channel for Dukes Ahead Friday Night Live. Yep, I got a YouTube jail on Monday night. I was in there for a week. I did a video they didn't like. I guess having a second opinion in the medical field is no longer allowed. But anyway, one thing YouTube did when they gave me that strike, they went through my other videos and they took down the one I did on the debate night between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. They took that one down too. So, but they didn't give me a strike. Hey, Carol, how you doing tonight? Oh yeah, it's good to be back. I tell you what, everything that happened last week. Oh my goodness gracious! Like I say, a creator could sit there and spend 3 hours on YouTube just a day just by talking about what they heard by noontime. Anyway, and I'm sure you're probably confused a little bit about the title of this, but I'll get to it. It's all going to make sense. Okay, I've been really busy this week. We're getting prepared for the snow to fly and stuff, so I haven't had time to put out that much content. Next week should slow down some, so I'll be able to start doing videos every day and stuff. But I live life too. We gotta deal with the weather, and the more we prepare, just like prepping, the more we prepare everything for the winter, the easier it'll be on us. Because last winter was easy, but the first winter I was here 2 years ago, worst winter they had in 50 years. It was crazy. It was nuts. And the thing about out here is until the plow comes by, and that could be days, you don't get to town. The roads are that plugged. You'll have drifts that are 10 feet high that run for 20, 30 feet. But anyway, I want to say something about the channel's growing, and I appreciate it. I got subscribers since I got back on. Even got subscribers during that week that I was in jail and stuff. My videos were still being watched. But the comments. Now, Carol, you may have seen this one guy and I going back and forth over the last 24 hours, but you know what? It started a dialogue. And if you read through all the comments and the replies, we started a dialogue. Yep. That's my whole goal here, to get us talking. Like I say, we're all in this sinking ship together. You old Democrats, us Republicans, okay? I'm not cutting the rhinos and the people that took over the Democratic Party, but, we're all in this sinking ship together. We're all Americans. I mean, when the Teamsters Union won't endorse a Democrat like Kamala Harris, I mean, that says it all. But anyway, I'll get into that. But, this is one thing tyrants fear the most, is us starting a dialogue with the other side and coming to terms with each other like it used to be in the past. And I'm going to get into the new Democratic Party and the Democratic Party of the past. When I say Democratic Party of the past, I'm talking JFK. Before Johnson in his entry into Vietnam, in his war on poverty, how many trillions have been spent on that, and in his 1965 bill he signed into law dealing with naturalization and immigration and stuff. Yeah, 25 days, Carol. Are you prepared? I got to make 2 more trips. I got to leave here 2 more times in the next 25 days. And then I'll have everything I need. But, I don't want to, let's just say I'm not going to have to leave here for 6 months. But, I don't want to run through Walmart with 2 carts that are full. I'll look like somebody that's on the entitlement program. Plus, but it'll throw a lot of flags. But anyway, yes, Americans banding together is what the tyrants on both sides. Fear. And this is why I'm getting into we need the old Democratic Party back. Okay, I'm going to let's get into the subject now. Why we need the old Democratic Party back. First, let's get into the new Democratic Party. The liberal, communist, progressive Democratic Party. I hate to tell you, Democrats, but you've been taken over. I've been prepping hard for the past 3 weeks. Yep. But you Democrats, you don't have your party no more. It's been hijacked. It's been taken over by stuff that you guys don't agree with. You would have never agreed with this 40 years ago. That's why a lot of you voted for Reagan. You know, we need to get back to the time where people voted for the person, not the party. But I know that's always been going on. But, you know, that just leads to problems. But the new Democratic Party been taken over. First, the LGBTQIA plus and whatever they're going to add to it in the next couple of years. Okay? Small fringe part of our population. Small. Maybe what, 0.5% at the most? And they have the say over 50% of us. You know, you would have never, the Democratic Party 40 years ago would have never put up with tampons in boys' bathrooms, would have never put up with litter boxes in kids' classrooms. That's just one, I mean, this is the sickness you're trying to bring upon us. Okay? And then what's another group? The illegals. I mean, Kamala Harris, I think it was last night, Univision Town Hall, with people that can't speak English. And they're sitting there complaining how they got to spend more on food and their cost of living's going up. You know what? How come INS wasn't at that place arresting everybody in there? But now she's so desperate for support that she's going to non-Americans. I mean, what happened when she went to that class, elementary class in Arizona, and that 10-year-old boy came up, what do you think Kamala Harris? She's a liar. And then you got illegals sitting there, well, can you give me more? Can you give me more? Can I be a free citizen as soon as I walk out this door? Always asking, always asking. Democratic Party always want to take my money and give it to somebody to make them happy. Like I said, I made a real good living once. And after I paid all that money in taxes and stuff, and then I have charities calling me and stuff, and everybody wanted money from me, I had enough of it. Take that green piece of paper and they can shove it right up their ass. Anyway, so Kamala having a town hall meeting with the illegals. Are we in America? What other presidential candidate flat out is trying to get support from ever tried to get support from illegals like this? Right in the wide open. I mean, the Democrats have no shame. They're willing to do anything. Anyway, but and then what's another group that took over? The entitlement. Okay. Back when I was growing up, being on welfare was a shame thing. That's why you had food stamps, because people knew. And we got rid of food stamps because it was embarrassing. Well, being on welfare entitlements at all should be embarrassing. This is the thing about welfare that pisses me off. You can have ranchers and farmers. Carol Prince, nope, we're not in America, and that's what I used to know. Yep, we're going to get into that. But, welfare. I think it's bad that people sit on their ass and we have to pay for them. But I also think it's bad, like the Department of Agriculture, that pays farmers not to work and work the fields and stuff and give them thousands of dollars, twice or three times as much as they give somebody on welfare every year to do nothing. I actually worked for a farmer one time, milking his cows, and it was February. And he was complaining because he hadn't got his government check yet. And he was supposed to get like almost $40,000 because his vacation to Disneyland, Disney World had been already booked, and he wanted to make sure he could pay for it. And I'm sitting there milking that guy's cows. But that's not welfare, right? I'll get into that. So the entitlement. You know, I want something. Like you say, I don't care the wealth. 2008, I need $50 billion tomorrow from the taxpayer, or they'll be out in the street with pitchforks and torches. But that's not welfare. I guess when you get to the thousands of dollars per check, it's not welfare. Or the billions per check, it's not welfare. It's my money. You're getting it. It's welfare. Okay? That's the definition of welfare. Taking my money and giving it to somebody else, whether it be a rich farmer or rancher, whether it be a poor piece of shit that doesn't want to work, or whether it be a billionaire. It's welfare. Entitlement. And then you know what? The founding fathers didn't want this because they didn't want the voters to have they didn't want voters voting somebody in that's going to offer them stuff. And I hate to say it, but Donald Trump's doing it too. Okay, we're not going to tax overtime wages. Get rid of the IRS. We're not going to tax wages or tips. Get rid of the IRS. I'm going to sit there and raise the earned income credit. Why? You get rid of the IRS, all of a sudden, you know, the state wants to have IRS, fine, but get rid of the federal. And then the families will have the extra $300 to $500 to maybe $1,000 a month to buy the stuff they need. Go to a flat tax, 10% federal tax. Then guys like me who spent $600 a month got it made. Anyway, it should be on what you spend. They should not be able to tax you coming and going. The IRS is unconstitutional. The Federal Reserve is unconstitutional. Oh, and who brought us that? Would that been a Democrat, Woodrow Wilson? And anybody want to look up how he passed the Federal Reserve? Interesting story. Crooked ass bastards. No different than what Hitler did when he cleaned out the. Anyway, those were the old progressives, right? Remember Hillary Clinton said she was an old progressive? Yeah, I remember all this stuff. Wish I could forget a lot of it. Okay. And then another, the Gen Zs and millennials. I am so sick and tired of them hearing them say that they got it rough. You know, at 18, when you guys aren't even leaving the house. We were already gone, living on our own, having our jobs, starting our life out struggling. You know, that's where you learn your lessons in life, by struggling, not by getting stuff handed to you. And they look at these baby boomers and be like, my God, they got it made. I want what they want. Okay, then put in the 40 or 50 years of work to get it. No, they want it now. They want to enjoy it now. Okay, you enjoy it now. Then when you get to 45 and you're broke and penniless and you have nothing, then who's going to support you? This is so stupid. They look at us like we had it made, like we had it easy. Really? No, see, the reason I still use a shovel, because I grew up using a shovel, not a bucket with hydraulics. Why do I use a maul to split wood? Because I've always used a maul to split wood. Plus, I can split wood faster than anybody can on a wood splitter with my maul. Believe me, I've made few people go, no way. And I beat them. And same reason I still use a push more. You see? And then, the best thing at 57, I don't have to go to the doctor. I don't have to take pills. I don't have nothing. I got the blood pressure of a 20-year-old. But don't worry, Tim Waltz is only 3 years older than me, but I'm supposed to strive to be physically fit like him. You guys are out of your minds. But these Gen Zs and these millennials, they want everything. They were all told they got a participation trophy when they just sat on sidelines. They all went to college and were told they were going to have $250,000 jobs when they graduated college. Okay, how'd it turn out? They're living in their basement, their parents' basement. Probably some are YouTube trolls, and they totally don't have any confidence in themselves anymore. Never give up on yourself. The human being can do so many great things. If you get past those limitations that are stuck in your head when you were a little kid, get rid of that governor and be amazed at what you can do. Anyway, but yeah, the Gen Z and millennials, they want what the baby boomers got, what us Gen X's got, and they just want it all right now. Hey, mom and dad, you haven't died yet. Can I at least have my inheritance? Carolyn Bell, times change every day except it. Use a split wood, but I'm not going back to that's what's wrong with you'll never grow up. Times change every day except it'll use split wood, but I'm not going back. That's what's wrong with y'all. Never grow up. I don't quite understand that. So anyway, I just, like I say, I will gladly go out there and take an extra 2 hours to mow my yard so I don't have to spend 2 hours in the doctor's office every 2 weeks. And I will split the wood. I really don't care. I'm not asking anybody to live like me. I just sick and tired of people trying to tell me I need to live like them. That's the thing about this world. We have freedom of choice, and we all pay the consequences for those choices, whether it be good consequences or bad consequences. Because of my lifestyle living and being tough on myself, at my age, I feel good, okay? I'm not going to say blessed because I work for it. I mean, the Marine Corps wasn't an easy place, and especially with what I did. But, I didn't build my body to impress the girls. I built my body so I wouldn't come home in a metal coffin. But don't worry, we get the Democratic Party. Every citizen of the country is going to get to see what I got to see. Okay? Don't worry. And the easy way, let us hear. All right. Another thing, the commies took over. Flat out took over the party. Was it the McCarthy air trials and stuff they had in the Senate and the Congress and stuff? They're right. They took over the education. I mean, I grew up thinking McCarthy was maybe a little bit overzealous. To come to realize maybe he didn't do enough. I mean, the flat out, you Democrats and commies have took over your party. Okay? Flat out. You got a communist running for office, for president, and the reason she can't talk like America wants her to talk is because she don't know how to discuss freedom and liberty and the Constitution. If she could talk about communism, she could probably sit up there for 2 hours and talk about Karl Marx, who she does quote in her speeches. Communists. Okay, I can tell you, this is their 1917 revolution time. They will never be this powerful again in the United States. They stole the election in 2020, and there's no way they can steal it now. I mean, there's no way. Anyway, I hope if Trump gets in, I want to see orange jumpsuits within 12 hours. But these commies are doing nothing in the Democratic Party. Division, division, division. This person don't think like me, so you got to hate him. This person don't has a nicer car, so you got to be jealous of him. This person has more money, so you need some of it. Covet, 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 covet. Okay? I guess, the Democrats don't have to worry about the Ten Commandments anymore since they took the word God out of their platform, do they? Sick. Got out of their platform, an abortion van, and behind the Democratic National Convention. It's just satanic all over. Sodom and Gomorrah. By the way, and then the division, like with the elections, okay? So let's get into the old Democratic Party, the one I would like to see. And this is the one, like I say, JFK, not Johnson, definitely not Carter. Oh, remember, Carter wants to stay alive long enough so he can vote for a woman. DEI hires. It's not your character, it's what your skin color is now. Totally against Martin Luther King. But anyway, yeah, the party of JFK. I would have voted in 1960. I would have voted for JFK over Nixon all day long. Just like there are a lot of Democrats that voted for Reagan all day long. Okay? But when then the Nixon did finally get in, look what happened anyway. I'm not a crook. Okay, yeah, that's the biggest lie ever told by a politician. Anyway, but people still got along. We didn't have the division we have now. Okay? I mean, comedians were allowed to make jokes about stuff and not have to worry about the political correctness and stuff like that. I mean, people just used to get along. The day after the election, nobody worried about civil war breaking out. Boy, times have changed, haven't they? Okay. And there was still trust in the government. All right? There was. Whether it had been Democrat in or Republican. They both knew whatever one was in, they still cared about America first. Okay? America's security came first. American citizens came first. Remember, Jimmy Carter even tried to rescue the hostages. That didn't work out, but at least tried it. If that happened today, jeepers Christ, what would they be offering Iran to get the hostages back? What did it take to get the hostages back out of Iran? Ding, ding, ding. Can anybody say, oh, that's right. The day before Reagan took office. Yep. We were respected starting then. But elections were trusted. I remember my parents going voting, and we knew who won. When I got up in the morning, I knew who won the elections. We don't have that no more. I mean, like I say, that stupid commercial that's constantly on YouTube, I get it all the time. Yep. I tell my seniors to vote. It may take a couple days to count all the votes, but your vote is safe because it's protected by Americans. I mean, if that ain't telling, they're going to try to cheat and come up with this excuse why they can't announce the winner. It doesn't matter, ladies. As soon as they call Pennsylvania, well, as soon as you lose Virginia, and then Pennsylvania and North Carolina are called, it's over. You know it just as well as I know it. Go ahead and try to cheat. Okay, Pennsylvania will be called before the end of the night. So 600,000 votes, all for Biden, don't show up on the day after. Don't worry, nothing to see there. All right. But what's another thing when we had the old Democratic Party? Before Jimmy Carter and the Department of Education. Where were we rated in the world for education? You say number one? Uno? The best? The envy of the world? Now where are we? 23rd. And that's by today's standards. Okay. Hey, what's up, Impeach? How's it going? Good to see you. Yeah, I've had a busy week. I haven't been able to watch you that much. Anyway, but I tell you what, if I ever get down to Jacksonville again, I'm coming to see you. That means I'd have to stop off in Fayetteville too and see you, Carol. And since I've been to both Camp Lejeune and Fort Bragg, just be down memory lane, wouldn't it? All right. Let's see. Number one in education. And then one thing too. Back in the day, yeah, it would be cool to hang out. Back in the day, with our parents, our grandparents, one could work a 40-hour week, buy a house, put his kids through college, have his car, have his retirement. The baby boomers like now that all the Gen Zers and millennials hate, did that with one person working. Oh, I'd love to have them days back. Yeah, the daycares would have to shut down because you know what? Women, I don't care if it's the man or the wife that goes to earns the money and the other one stays home, because the one who stays home, it's not like they get a day off. Okay. But get back to that. Get the family unit back together again. But look how much, oh my God, we got both people working in the household. All this taxes. Okay? It's all about money. They split up the family unit to get rich. These people are, like you say, they have no soul. That's what you old Democrats need to open your eyes. Your candidate was taken out. Okay? I mean, the new Democratic Party, you Democrats don't even get to vote on them. They're appointed or selected. Yep. The new Democratic Party. Sounds like communism to me. But anyway, and then back then, I can't remember, maybe you, Carol, or Impeach. When was it? Was it the late 70s? I think it was the late 70s when the government bailed out, gave Lee Iacocca in Chrysler $1 billion. Was that the late 70s or was that the early 80s? See, that opened up another door. I remember all the arguing that they had back and forth. That was just for $1 billion. That's one thing. When I was in the service, they had all these, the civilians would drive around all these Chrysler K cars and stuff. The question was, when did our government give Lee Iacocca that $1 billion for Chrysler to save Chrysler's ass? Was that in the late 70s or early 80s? I can't remember. But this is where the government bailing stuff out, okay? The government picking winners and losers. I mean, you run your country, you run your company into the ground, then it goes under. And the new guy who's got better ideas and better management skills comes and takes your place, and he builds up. You know, the American dream? Late 70s, okay. But I remember that. Oh, I remember that was on the news. Like I say, every night I had to sit from 5:30 to 6 and watch Walter Cronkite through my whole life. Okay? I remember this. Okay? But then they started picking one of them. They decided, hey, you should have never done that. Because where'd that lead to? Okay? That led to 2008. You know, it just kept incrementally growing till 2008. You know, when the economy first crashed and they said, we need all this money overnight, or there's going to be torches and pitchforks in the streets. You know, and then we got to hear the term too big to fail. Okay, does that mean that I'm too small to succeed? All because they sat there and lent a bunch of money to people to buy houses that could never pay them back. Now they want to do the same thing, except now they want to give them 25 instead of giving them no down payment. They just want to give them $25,000 to help buy a house. You know, the oil embargo of the 70s, I really don't remember that. I remember they dropped the speed limit and stuff like that. But, you know, I guess that was before. Anyway, I just don't remember that much. Okay. But yeah, Walter Cronkite, and that's the way it is. I never knew he was a Democrat. I didn't know he was a Democrat until he took Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton out on his yacht for that weekend after the Monica Lewinsky fiasco. Okay. I didn't know. It never bothered. I was surprised. I'll be honest about that. But then again, he was a Kennedy Democrat. Everybody seen that film of him announcing Kennedy's death and him taking off his glasses and crying. I went by your license plate. People were standing in line for. Oh, yeah, it went by the number odd or even, didn't it? Crazy stuff. Okay, you remember that at Peach? It's going to get far worse, buddy. It's going to get far worse. I'm sure glad I got a horse. I know I ain't walking. Yeah, this is the thing. What we lived through then. I mean, could you imagine if we had something like that now and our politicians had to work through that? I mean, look when Saudi Arabia cuts us off, they become members of the BRICS and best friends of the Russians and the Chinese. We lose our petrodollar, we become a third world country. It just gets real bad overnight. Okay. And then, you know, the thing with subsidizing these companies, when Barack Obama came in, started trying to do all this solar stuff, and you know, these companies just went under. But you know what? They kicked some back to the Democratic Party. I know that doesn't actually know how it works, but yeah. Okay. Remember when the Democratic Party used to be the party of peace? You all remember how much crap they gave George W. Bush because he wanted $50 billion to go to Iraq? And that was after 9/11. Party of peace, huh? Seems to me we're spending a lot of money to really try to get World War III started. And like I said in my short, Americans always get what they pay for. So, you know, but the party of peace. I'm ready for some peace in this world. I'm definitely ready for some peace. I'd be willing to go back to the Cold War days. It was definitely more peaceful than it is now. But whatever. Party of peace, like you say. They don't even talk about the old Democratic Party no more. It's been so taken over. How many people voted for Biden in the primary? 14 million? What's that? That's a lot of voters that have been like they don't care about him. I mean, I'll frankly say, Joe Biden was doing a better job than Kamala Harris. And I got another thing. I'm going to make this my short tomorrow. If you had to guess, how do you think Joe Biden's going to vote in the election? How do you think, impeach? How is Joe Biden? Who's he going to vote for? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? I bet she's going to vote for Trump all day long. I think if they don't, well, it's a serious question to ask. I mean, I'll say this: Joe Biden would be a lot safer person if Donald Trump won the office. I'm just saying, because all of a sudden he could slip on a banana peel. Yeah, he's pissed. They did a coup on him. Yeah. And then I heard that they sold his job. Yeah, I heard that his wife and somebody in the Kamala campaign had a physical ultimate. How much you want to bet it was Kamala Harris? Why would Jill waste her time fighting with a staff person? She's the first lady. I bet Ginny Money was Kamala Harris she was fighting with. But that's just my deductive reasoning. You know, just like those same deductive reasoning, where'd the cocaine come from in the White House, even though they have cameras all over that place. You couldn't see that one. Okay. And then there were Party of Peace and the Party for the People, the unions. I tell you what, Jill's pissed. This is the thing. She's pissing off old Democrats that bad. What do you think she's going to do to us? Has anybody figured this out? They turn on their own people. They don't even care about us. It's terrible. Like I say, Party for the People. Okay, you're the Party for the People. The unions are just leaving you. Okay? Teamsters Union didn't endorse it. Well, they didn't endorse Trump either. Yeah, but they did come out and say 58% of them support Trump. And anybody who has a job and works their ass off is sick of this crap. Because, like I say, after working all day, they have to go home to neighborhoods that are being taken over by illegals, knowing that they had to go to work for a few hours to pay for that. See, this is the thing. Everybody's getting sick of paying for this. Well, everybody else is just like the Univision Town Hall. Can we have more, please? Here's, get on the bus, get back to the border, anchor babies. Oh, you've been here. You know, you lived here a while. We need a path to citizenship. No, you need a path to your jail cell. Yeah, $300 a night, and taxes are paying for their hotel bills. $300 a night. $300 a night in New York. And I don't want to get into down south. South needs to rise up again. Flat out needs to rise up again. Have you had enough yet? See that flag behind me? Or that flag behind me? South needs to rise up again. It was all about states' rights back then. It should be the same now. Yeah, and they hate the free food they're getting. That's another thing. I sit out here, not only have to pay my taxes, but I got to sit there and get kicked by cows, almost kill myself on a four-wheeler, dig so many damn post holes and stuff, work my ass off. I mean, we got done working cows today. There were four of us. We worked calves. Calves got weaned. They went down south. And then we had to work the cows and preg check them and stuff. Sort the opens. We got done. We were all black, head to toe. You know those times you get in the shower and just dirt runs off you for an hour? But see, we endure. Whether it be cold, raining, it doesn't matter. And I do this to put food on people's table. I sacrifice. Now, I love my job. I love it a lot more if Americans would appreciate it. Okay, that's another thing about ranching and farming, right? You know, obviously a barrel of oil is more important than food on your plate. Because if we had to live, if farmers and ranchers, like, do you think we get overtime after 40 hours if you're on hourly? No. 48 for agriculture. Do you think we have OSHA out here making sure everything's safe? No, because every ranch would get shut down then. Because you do the best you can. Okay? You know, they talk about freedom and liberty. Fencing. 24,000 acres. I'd have to look on a map to see how many pastures we have. I have to sit there and write them down on paper. Stretch 24,000 acres. People, well, you can fence in a day. Okay, come out here. Oh, you fencing in a boat? Yeah, you come out here. So smart. Anyway, but that's what I go through. But for people like you and Peach, people like you, Carol, all day long. Now, the people I work for do sell their own beef, and it is high quality beef. But I don't want to give their name out until I talk to them about it. But I think they went, you know, that's good quality. There is one thing. After the meat you buy at the grocery store, okay, it's no good. If I were to bring you a pound of hamburger of our meat, of our Nebraska cows, the meat it's got a nice taste to it. And I thought just but the look of it, okay. I don't know what that Walmart stuff is, but it's not the same stuff I eat. You know, that's one thing. Yep. See, I told when guys like us, okay, we stop working. This is when our country will die because nobody be paying taxes. We stop working. We've had enough. But you know, I love my job. I don't want anybody to think that I'm sacrificing. I'm really not. I can't believe I get paid for what I do. And this is people that are homeless. They need a job. Okay, I'll bring you out here. You want to work? You got your house. You get a pickup to drive around for work. You get taken care of. No, they don't want to work. They just want free handouts. Okay, the entitlement. Okay, I don't have time for them people. Okay, if you're willing to get your hand, see, I never have to worry about having a job because I'll get my hands dirty. I'll work in any climate, whether it's sweating my butt off or 40 below with the wind blowing. Doesn't matter with the snow flying. It doesn't matter. And I'm still can't believe I get paid for what I do. Snatch and grab in Walmart. See these people. I mean, San Francisco, all the stores are leaving. If you steal under $1,000, they can't do nothing from you. Can you imagine going into Walmart? That'll be 2 carts for sure. Walk out, and with 2 carts, nobody can stop you. Nobody's going to say anything to you. And the stores are just supposed to suck it up. And then I heard a story about a lady who did that, forgot her phone in the cart, came back and wanted her phone back, and they gave her phone back. That's not the way I'd run a business. Not at all. I mean, what's the sense of the deals by the door to see your shop of also they can catch law-abiding citizens that don't steal anyway. Okay. Why? Now I'm going to get it. Why do we need the old Democratic Party back? Because what happens? The Rhino Republicans have tried to take over the Republican Party. George W. Bush, Cheney. Okay. We need a counterbalance. Okay. The pendulum keeps swinging. Woo! Woo! We need it back the way it was when we had the old Democratic Party. Maybe a little bit like that. We're just going to the extremes. Okay. But we can't have that. We can't even think it will never happen. Do you think the old Democrats ever thought 40 years ago that they'd be voting for a communist? She's not even black. She lies about everything. I mean, she's on that one night show and she's drinking a beer. She has no clue what people are suffering. Okay. But we can't take that chance. We need stable, intelligent parties. That's one thing about this guy that we trade comments back and forth. He's intelligent. And I said, better watch out. We may become friends one day. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with disagreeing with me politically and still getting along. It's just now everything is political. Even who you sleep with is now political. Maybe that needs to change. But, one thing Kamala's saying that, talk about rhinos. Kamala's saying that she'll have Republicans in her cabinet. Well, we all know Liz Cheney would be there. Would anybody call her a Republican? If she is, she's the most traitorous ass Republican I've ever known. Just like her father. Or remember, Dick Cheney's allowed to go out hunting with people, shoot them in the face and chest, and nothing happens to him. Anybody else would get their gun rights taken from them. Probably be in prison, probably get sued. Hey, have a good night, Impeach. Anyway, so yeah, Liz Cheney would be in Kamala's cabinet. Anybody can say January 6th and what she'd like to do. Well, what cabinet post could we possibly give Liz Cheney? I don't know. Not even a department head. How about we put Liz Cheney in charge of the FBI? Now there's a nightmare. That is a nightmare. Anyway, yeah. We just need something to make sure the Republican Party doesn't go so far right. Okay, just we need a counterbalance. Okay, this is one thing about life that I figured out. You can't have a balanced life unless you have good and evil. Because if you just have good, evil will take over because nobody will know what evil is. Especially when people aren't educated. Anyway, that's all the Lone Wolf Preppers got for tonight. But that's what I'm getting at. We need a strong, old-fashioned Democratic Party. Okay? Not what we got now. Please, you old Democrats, you real Democrats, you young, real Democrats that care about America and the American worker and definitely are against support World War III and putting our country in debt and illegals. believe in the Constitution. We need you people back. The JFK people. It's not what your country can do for you, it's what you can do for your country. The United States was never set up. The government was never intended to be set up to give handouts to individuals, companies, or other governments. Okay? Anyway, let's get back to that. And like I say, never give up on yourself. Never give up on yourself. Set a goal and achieve it. And another thing, make a goal to try to get along with somebody that you necessarily don't like. I'm not talking somebody you want to go fisticuffs with, but somebody that, you just don't feel you have nothing in common, you don't want to spend time. You just, challenge yourself. Like I say, it may not start out great, but like I say, you may end up friends. And even though you don't think that can happen, one thing about human beings that makes us unique, we make the impossible happen. Anyway, everybody have a good night. This Lone Wolf Prepper out.